Deliver us from evil. Deliver us from evil. Deliver us from our evil ways. Peace and blessings. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for making your way over here to this channel. Please, you can click the subscribe button. If somebody sent you this broadcast, then I am so grateful. Peace and blessings to everybody that made their way. I have a special teaching today. My name is Adonis D. Johnson. I am the creator of I Am My Lifecoach. I Am My Lifecoach is not just a book, right? It's actually a new way of thinking. It's a new perspective to a old approach. Some of us, we have been introduced to old traditional ways. And what we have discovered with those old traditional ways is that some of these ways just does not work, right? So I Am My Life Coach is a new perspective. It's a new perspective. Keep in mind, anything that's new had to have something that was old, right? So I'm gonna let the broadcast open up a little bit. Hello, Ms. Williams. Peace and blessings. Good to see you and everybody else making their way. Light your fire. That's how I see what's going on. For many of you, I hope that me encouraging you to light your fire, it will begin to take root in your life, that every conversation, every interaction that you have, that you will light your fire and be present in that moment. Your power is in the power of now. And the new perspective is linked to being present now. I Am My Life Coach grounds you. It allows you to be you and to manifest you in that moment. It's a matter of becoming the leader that you should have always been, right? I'm letting the music build a little bit. And everybody, as they're making their way on, I am so excited about the message that I'm going to bring forth today, right? 3 things that you're never going to get back. The first one going to be time. You're never going to get that back, right? Words. You're never going to get that back as well. And when I'm holding the chop, wait, listen, whatever you are when you holding chop, I want to make sure you that same person when you don't have no chop, right? I'll show you how to get more than that. You stick around. I got something for you, right? But listen. Hey, there you go right there, my brother. Peace and blessings. Let me do my thing. Light your fire, you guys. Let me do what I come to do. And I'm trying to interact a little bit with people that comes online or that comes from wherever they come from. We broadcasting from the Midwest. It is cold in the Midwest. It's cold and it's freezing here. But in spite of all, we recognize that there's, we learn, we unlearn, we relearn, right? Me, myself, as an author, as a self-empowerment coach, as well as a entrepreneur, my job is to help you build a new way to accomplish the things that you already desire to do, right? I'm not here to mislead you. I'm here to dedicate my time. This is costing you absolutely nothing. But one thing you guys gonna have to do, you're gonna have to learn how to decipher what's for you and what's not for you. Some things is not for you, right? Some things is for you. Me personally, my life didn't come because I had it all figured out. My life came because I ain't have no choice but to figure it out. Money was not my driving force. Relationships was not my driving force. Trying to do things the right way, that was driving force. My driving force is when I had identified that 1, I didn't know who I was. 2, I was around people who didn't know who they was. 3, we didn't know where we was going. Everything that we do in life has to have a purpose and it has to be a plan. And for many of us, if you don't have a plan, then you already failed, right? The plan is to become who you should have always been. Come on, you guys. What am I saying? I'm saying when you have parents, the way that you brought, the way that somebody brought you up, your religion, tradition, traditional ways will not work. Tradition was meant to keep you out. Well, guess what? To keep you out of becoming who you should have always been. This ain't about everybody. This is for somebody. See, I might can't connect to you, but some of you, you can connect to me. Others, I will come and I will speak directly to you. Why? Because it's really you speaking to yourself right now, right? I'm here for a good time, not a long time. Again, no disrespect to anybody that logged on to this broadcast or anybody that chose to take the time out to just listen to something that I'm introducing. This is an introduction for another opportunity to find another way to make it happen for you. I don't know what you're going to have to do, but I guarantee you, if you listen, you will see. We're going to listen, we're going to learn, and we're going to execute. All I'm here to do is to empower you. Everybody don't want power. Everybody don't want to come from within. They want to look from what they want to look outwardly, and thinking outwardly going to determine the results inwardly. When it comes down to how you feel, when it comes down to depression, when it comes down to stress, all these things are internal issues, right? Some of the internal issues that we have is with the misguided information. The information is things we take in. That's the information. Formation is some of the stuff that we give out. As I have already stated, and I'll say it again, because I have to light my own fire. I need to see fire, but I'll light my own fire. My name is AJ the Wildfire. I'm taking a different approach to get results right now. The only thing I care about is that we can get those results right now. That's my job, is to take a leader and make sure that you can get on this ship so we all can have leadership. That means we going somewhere. Where are we going? We going bigger, better, and greater. And we're going to take an alternate route to get there. We're not going to take the same route everybody is taking. That's why it's a famine. That's why it's a shortage. That's why there's no funding. That's why there's no money. That's why there's no positivity. That's why there's no conversations that's worth participating in. That's why it's not no marriages. That's why it's not people getting with individuals that's bringing out the best in them. You coming in with the wrong philosophy. Whose philosophy? Somebody else's philosophy. It didn't work for them. It ain't gonna work for you. Well, where did these philosophy comes from? They done put them in songs, misleading information. They done put them in their sermons, misguided direction. What am I saying? I'm saying we're looking for things that actually exist inside of you. That information is keeping you from having a formation, and that's why no weapon formed against who? Against you. Well, what am I saying? Against you is who you should have always been. To get inside of you, you must first become you. Come on now. I'll run it back one more time. In order to get inside of you, you must first become you. And once you become you, you can access everything that goes with you. Foolishness don't go with you. Negativity don't go with you. Confusion don't go with you. Why? Because I can verify. I can verify that what you're giving me does not work for me. Well, how can I verify this? Because I probably used to do what you now still do. And the fact that you still do it, you ain't happy about it. And if you trying to give it to me, then that must mean you trying to sell me on what somebody sold you, but I ain't buying it, right? So it ends up staying with you. I did something different. I learned, right? I recognized what I learned, right? And once I realized what I learned, I unlearned it. It took time. Whose time? My time. It took my time to realize that some of the people that was teaching me, that I was listening to, they didn't have the best teachers. They lived in the dysfunctional areas. We was all unprepared. So let's just strip ourselves of what we learned and let's relearn. That means something different. Take the moment of what you have right now, which is the power of now. I spoke on Saturday on Facebook, and I spoke at the 5 o'clock hour for the 5 o'clock wildfire. And one of the things I stated, that if you are depressed, that's because you're living in the past. Come on, you guys. Many of us are living in the past due to decisions and choices that we made that did not get the results that we wanted. Let me say it again. Many of us are depressed. When? Now. Because we're thinking about what we should have done, roads we should have taken, the fact that we should have went to school, the fact that we went to school and didn't get a job we got out of, the fact that we might have married the wrong one, we might got in the wrong relationship. You did everything for your parent, your children, your community, your people, your country, You did everything for everybody, and yet you did nothing for yourself. Come on now. This will have you stressed out. This will have you depressed. Everybody else is excelling around you, but yet you still trapped. Why? Because no one recognized, right, that every person had to fend for themselves. Come on, you guys. Everybody had to fend for themselves. I had to go in quick right now. Why did I have to go in quick? Because someone was trying to hijack the energy. They was trying to hijack. I was waiting for the lineup to show up, but it took a little time to get the lineup to show up, right? Light your fire, you guys. This is the Mighty Monday Meltdown 2.0. Come on now. This is the Mighty Monday Meltdown 2.0. If you depressed right now, that's because you're living in the past. What done already happened? It already happened, right? And what you keep doing is looking at what done already happened, and you're taking up time trying to figure out what you could have done different. But what you could have done different, you done already missed that time. This is what I'm going to talk about today, right? You done already missed that time. Well, let's talk about the time you missed, right? You see, for many of us, come on now, the Invisible Crown Army is here. I see Sonia, I see Christina, I see Special, I see Phoenix. Peace and blessings. Now the room is good. I feel like I could proceed and I could slow down now. Here you go. We got leaders here, but I'm here to build the ship for the leaders because it's about leadership, right? Every person on this broadcast will be dispatched back to their family, back to their friends, back to their communities. But wherever you dispatch back to, you'll be powered up right now. You'll be powered up because you have to discharge in order to recharge. And for some of us, you being discharged from foolishness, you being discharged from begging people, from kissing people's, you know what, from sitting here having to feel like you the one that's helping them, but they making you feel like you got to beg them to help them. And yet this is your assignment. Come on now. You see, some people look for a sign. Even the Bible states, Jesus states, he said, these people in this generation, they want to see a sign. I want to see a sign of this the one for me. I want to see a sign. He gonna have to show me. She gonna have to let me know. See, they want to see a sign. But see, for others like ourselves, as the leaders, we here for assignment. That means the assignment means you might not have been assigned to me, but I'm actually assigned to you. Come on now. That means regardless of what, I don't look for your approval. God told me I belong here. So I can't ask somebody, do you want to be with me? That's not an option right now. That's not, see, that's old way of doing business. We here for new business. That's the Father business. We here for the new perspective. See, that's the old perspective. You want me, you want to just let me know, because if you don't want me, then I can leave. I don't want to waste my time. Come on now, let's stop right here. When do you get an assignment and think that you can walk off? Did not Jonah try to do the same thing? This is what Jesus Christ was saying. How you forgot who the one who gave you the assignment? How you forgot why you was able to show up the way you was able to show up? For many of you, the one who gonna show up ain't gonna have nothing. They ain't gonna be about nothing. They gonna been through everything, probably lost everything, but the fact that they done been restored, come on now, that's what qualifies them. What's in them is what qualifies them. Their formation. See, I asked somebody earlier, as I tell you guys, to go in the right direction, how much is it worth to you? If you got your pen, you want to write this down. You want to light fire on this one too. Come on now. How much is it worth to you to go into the right direction? Because many of you, you don't allow a little tattoo to get you thrown off. You don't allow a pair of shoes, a purse. You don't allow somebody else around you to send you off. Now you in the wrong direction, still looking for the right direction. It don't work like that. You in the wrong direction now. Something done led you astray, and now you praying, but you done been disabled. You out of range. So your prayers ain't being heard. I'm going to tell you what you need to hear. It's not what you want to hear. This broadcast, let's call a timeout on this music. Let's call a timeout. This broadcast is not created to tell you what you want to hear, right? You don't hear me begging anybody, right? This broadcast is set up for certain individuals for a certain point in time in their life that they're going to need to get something different. That's why we here. It ain't for everybody, but it is for somebody. You are being discharged so that you can be recharged. We got work to do, you guys. 3 things you don't get back. One is time. I wanted to talk about time for a little bit because some of the things you was attempting to do, right? You missed the time to do it. You missed the time to do it. See, when you miss something, now you have to think about what you missed. If I would have just stayed put, if I would have just stayed at that job, if I would have just sit here, and, what if it would have worked and things as such, right? See, you could miss time and you can't get that time back. Some people, you out of time, right? That means you done had enough time to sit here and play around with this thing called life, and you realize that this just don't work, but this is all you know. See, all you know don't allow you to grow. That's why it had to be a new perspective. That's why you had to get around a new community that's based on new things, that's pushing to go bigger, better, and greater. What am I saying? We came in on I Am My Life Coach 1.0, right? This is 2.0. That means this is something different. And the only way to understand that it's something different is because God always pulling off more layers to where we at right now. He don't give you the same. He gives you more responsibility. And I look to convince you today that this is where you need to be at the right time, because many things we done outside of time. Come on now, this time frame is very special to me. I want you guys to light fire. 10 years ago, I was in a coma this time. That means I had to lose it all. I had to lose everything that I had gained. I had to lose my whole identity. Once I came out the coma, to God be the glory, I was sent through a mission. And that mission is still the same mission today. And that mission is to decree and declare what God told me to tell some of you. But before I can tell it to you, I had to tell it to myself. So if I'm going to be here, you understand me? If I'm going to be here, then I got to make sure that I'm obedient to what it is I heard, what it is I still hear, and what it is I need to do. Once I get what I need to get out of this, then I release it and it comes to you. This is what I'm saying. Some of you are built according to some of the things you have heard me say, right? Some of the things that had to come through me, that's how you receive the next level to your life. Come on now, I was linked to your next level. How can you not continue to think? You thought when your next level came, you just left me there? It doesn't work like that. We might went separate ways, but we was going in the same direction. And we're going to continue to go in the same direction. That means we're going forward. That means we're going higher. That means, hey, in order to get more, we got to be willing to do more. And for many of us, we get more responsibility. We get more responsibility. That means increasing our ability to do this assignment that he's given us. But let's be clear, we don't get time back. And I wrote down this thing because I wanted to show you guys that when it comes down to time, let's be clear. When it comes down to time, I can shoot this one on my own right now, right? When it comes down to time, some people have stolen time. That means they stole your time, right? The more somebody steals your time, that takes away from what it is supposed to manifest within who you are. What am I saying to you right now? Check this out, you guys. You're going to love this one. Listen to this. When the enemy cannot beat you, the enemy cannot beat you. No devil can beat you at all. But what the devil can do, what he can do, is he can hijack your time, right? By dispatching his little demons and spirits, and with distractions makes you not available to get what you should have already have been able to receive. You see, we got privilege, we got access, Sister Sonia, but if I distract you, it's going to be a stagnant spirit in the air. It's going to be a delayed spirit in the air, right? And that stagnant spirit and that delayed spirit, it compromises where you should be. And many of us, we have messed up because this spirit has worked a good number. This spirit don't play here. This spirit comes and it comes to steal what? Your time, stolen time. Come on now. And let's be clear. When time is stolen from you, that means you don't have time to prepare yourself. You don't have to see this like knowing you got to get up in the morning, but you going to allow somebody to convince you to go out at night. Come on now, I got to get up in the morning. Girl, you ain't got no job. I got to get up. I got to get up at 7 o'clock in the morning. I've been on my job 10, 15 years. But see, you want me to sit here and go accommodate you. Come on, girl. And they good too. They can convince you. Now, you see, I'm supposed to drive home sleepy and tired. And technically, my mind's saying you should be in the bed by now, right? But yet, guess what? Stolen time. Why? Because when you were asleep, let's go deeper. When you light your fire, when you are asleep, that's when God speaks. When you let go of the world, come on now, then it says God speaks to you in what? In dreams. That means you got to be asleep in order for God to speak and tell you what's the next step so you can see where you're going. The reason why you can lay down and go to sleep, because I let go of what was and I look forward to what it's about to be, because I got to get up and I want to get up ready. I want to get up charged up. I want to get up with things that I need to do. My list, I got a whole day ahead of me and I need to make sure I approach it. Come on now. But stolen time will take away from the days ahead. That means you don't perform at your fullest. You perform with what you have. Come on now. And for many of us, we done sit here and stole time stole from us, because now when we show up for relationships that we supposed to show up with everything we got, we ain't got enough. We ain't got enough because we're undeveloped. Come on, you guys. Here's another one for us right now. Look at this one. Stolen time out. Now, on the Mighty Monday Meltdown, I call a time out. A time out meaning life continues to go on and on and on, right? But see, we're living in the third dimension. The third dimension is the dimension of time. The first dimension, that's God, right? The second dimension, that's angels, right? The third dimension, that's us and time. You get what I mean? Time and God, that's eternal. With us as human beings, humanity, we're in the dimension of time, which is humans, right? But the fourth dimension is where the fight goes down at, right? This is where we ask for things we need here on earth, but we can't get the things on earth because the battle that's taking place is in the fourth dimension, the fourth realm. And in that fourth realm, that's why it was a battle happening. And some of us, we are lacking, right? So we call a time out. The time out meaning, let me think about this. A timeout is just like with football or basketball, right? Or any sport. When you're playing offense and somebody else got to be playing defense. When you playing defense, somebody else got to be playing offense. But isn't it amazing that we're living in a time zone right now that somebody will rather compete with you instead of getting on your side and coming up with a plan on how we can all win. Come on, how we can all win. Light your fire for this right here. Watch this. Let's go deeper. You see, God realized that, hey, they're going to be down here on earth, right? I want them to come up with a plan so they all can fulfill their heart desires. But I realize that when they see each other, they be at each other, right? Why? Why is this going on right now? Why do they hate on each other so much? Now watch this, right? This is a timeout. God say timeout. John 3:16 said, God so loved the world that he sent his son. That whosoever, that means when you get the son, you should perform bigger, better, and greater. I'm going to show you that some people are not performing as they should, right? Now, I love a win-win. As somebody said, a win. But in this case, it's a win-lose. And for many of us, we don't have to lose in order to win. We're going to have to learn that I lost. I didn't perform like I should have performed. This relationship that I was in just that don't even match who I am right now. How can you ever have something and you going to intentionally perform at your worst? Some of us, you did not give your best. You gave the worst part to you, and God had to disable you because he can't get glory through something that's playing against your Lord and Savior. Come on now. Why do he got to knock at the door and you got to open the door? Who created this stuff right here, right? But this is nothing but a parable. This is nothing but a parable. Now watch this. I just showed you guys that was going to be something called a timeout. That was a quick timeout, right? But overtime, now let's talk about overtime. Overtime is when you do extra, right? I'm just overtime. That's the time that I'm supposed to work, and that's the time I'm supposed to rest. Just like your job. There's a time you're supposed to get off, but instead you got to do overtime because you got too much work. And for many of us, we done messed around and been doing overtime in areas we've been supposed to be relieved from. It's almost like, look, I'm not supposed to go to your next level with you. Who's the next person coming for you? Because not only do you not fit where I'm at, not only do you not complete me, I might be here to serve you, but you do not complete me. What am I saying? I'm saying for some of you, instead of looking for the best person or the right person, you need to spend more time identifying that this time was meant to be used for you, but to become the right person, to become the best person. That is the offering. The offering is how you ever met somebody that when they show up, it made you grow up. How you ever met somebody that when you came around, that everybody had to find things about your character. Oh, you bougie. Oh, you this. Oh, you think you know everything. Oh, you don't want to listen. I ain't listening to no fool. I've been listening to God. I've been the fool for so long that I know what a fool sound like. Do you hear me? It's a spirit, okay? But guess what? When people can't match you, they will try to drag you. And my point that I'm trying to tell you is that if we have to be very careful because we'll be working overtime trying to explain ourselves to people that ain't really hearing you. They can't hear you. They don't have what it takes to hear you because God has not equipped them to hear you. I'm going to prove that today. Come on now, the 5 P's. Somebody said, drop the 5 P's. Let's do it then. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. Is that not why we practice on Monday? This is a me and you thing. This is what I have to do. Properly prepare myself so I can prevent myself from performing poorly. And for many of us, your name going to be called. Your name, you can believe somebody going to put your name in the room. But if they put your name in the room, y'all will go crazy. Some people go crazy, especially in the institution. Somebody gonna bring your name up. Somebody gonna lift your hands, and somebody gonna and you start clapping. But when they bring your name up, you perform poorly. Where's the practice at? Right? Listen, let me reset the room right now. This is a very critical time. This is Ramadan season. I admire so much the religion practices of Muslims. I admire. I actually applaud them. I salute them, right? Especially the practicing ones. Why? Because imagine somebody coming into your presence and they saying, beloved. Or they say, assalamu alaikum, right? Peace is here, right? And you say, malaikum assalam, and you greet them back. Every conversation, right? As soon as you hear this, automatically a calm come over you. Assalamu alaikum, my sister. Malaikum assalam, my brother. And imagine, this ain't me trying to get your phone number. This ain't me trying to go out on a date with you. This is just me acknowledging the strength of and the power of God that resides inside of you, right? At least I'm telling you, I see peace in you, or I'm speaking peace. But guess what? I done seen some real shaky, shady religion practices that just doesn't work, right? And some of them just didn't work for me. I am a born again believer of Christ, right? Jesus, that means I had to take a new look because the route that I was going just didn't work, right? I tried to jump out in the world and say, hey, I was brought up Baptist and Christian, and there was a lot of uncertainty on what I was, when I needed to be this, when I needed to be that. And I realized none of that just did not work for me at all, right? Here it is. We are on Monday in the Mighty Monday Meltdown 2.0, beginning of the week. Some of us, we done had 9 to 5s. We done got off work today. You're probably at home cooking and cleaning. Right now, you still got to live this life, and you wondering, God, what's going on? God, where's my significant other? God, where's my partner at? Where's my helpmate? God, where's my job at? Where's the increase at, right? I can't make impact if I ain't got finances. God, you can trust that if you give me this, I'm going to do this, but you're not getting anything until you get this software. This is a software. This allows you the access to becoming a millionaire. or whatever your heart desires. This ain't no, some of us, you supposed to be a millionaire. It's already written. But if you don't qualify and you get disqualified, the blessing is still there. It's just somebody else will inherit it in your bloodline. It might be your children's children. They might get that access. But let's be clear. Ain't no sense of something that I can get be handed down to somebody else. I don't want what's for me to be given to somebody else. I want to see it for myself. Okay? I want to experience it for myself. Come on now, light your fire if you want, if God can trust you with what he's giving you right now. Because right now he's giving you another chance to do better. He's giving us another opportunity to stand our grounds. He's renewing us. He's restoring us. He's reviving us. He's reconditioning us. He's reprogramming us. What is he using? He's using a new perspective. Please don't play God cheap like he's still the old God, because the old God, you wasn't scared of that God. See, many of us, we be like, I love God, I got this, God, that, and yet we still do what we have always done, and that's why we haven't got anything, right? We haven't got anything that was worth keeping, because everything we get, he takes it away just so we can go back and pray. And then we looking back at God saying, God, I'm praying for this. He said, what did you do with the last thing I gave you? You didn't take care of that. Right? And we realized, God, I'm sorry. He forgive you because we do understand you to say you sorry, right? That's enough, right? That's the lowest standard. I'm sorry. But I realize I ain't make nothing sorry. So let me go and get you back up on your feet, because I can't have you living in this sorry condition. But soon as you get back up, you do the same thing and you mess back up and you back where you started at. And that's why we're here right now. Thank you for lighting your fire, because that's called time up, right? See, your time is up on being stupid. Your time is up on acting like you ain't who you should have been. Your time is up to be powerless. It's time to get your power. That's why I say we enter into this room by power of the Spirit and by fire. Your fire is your power. That's your light to ignite yourself. Come on now. I am my life coach, self-empowerment. Far as I'm concerned today, we all self-empowerment coaches, because we don't depend on someone else. Someone else depend on you. But if you can't light your fire and be you, then you can't make the right decision to either say yes or no. Both of them have the same power. It's called the answer, right? Just like up, there's a down. Some people need to go down, some people need to go up. Some people gonna make a right turn, some people gonna make a left turn. It depends on where you at. And today I'm trying to make sure you understand where you at right now in this thing and in this walk called Christ. You in Christ and Christ in you, something has to happen different. You can't keep doing the same thing that you have always done, because now you being graded now. And that's why I'm here to make sure that we have an experience, to make sure, come on, Star, that we have not just an experience, but we have an upgrade. We have an encounter. One encounter changed everything, because if you can encounter this moment with him, then now as you walk, everybody will encounter him when they encounter you. Come on now. I believe that people can see us like they never saw us before, but they couldn't see you because they've been blind. They couldn't see you because they got shut down. They couldn't see you because why? It was out of time. And none of us went out of time. Remember, Jesus showed up at a wedding, right? He showed up at a wedding in scriptures, right? I have not even begun to flip the script yet, but I'm gonna give you this one. Jesus showed up at a wedding, and his mother, they ran out of wine. See, let's be clear. They ran out. Some people ran out of the goodness. They ran out of the blessing. They ran out of hope. They ran out of, maybe I'm not going to find me a significant other. Maybe my wife, I done tried this thing. My wife just doesn't exist, right? My husband, I want a husband. The one I'm dating, I know this ain't my husband, but I'm just going to date him anyway. But I'm dating what I know that ain't my husband. Why? Because the wine runs out, right? Now, here's the issue. When the wine runs out, the mother comes to Jesus, higher conscious, higher self, and said, they are out, right? And he said, lady, it's not my time. And what am I saying? Some of you was giving it all you got, and it wasn't your time. You were sitting here prophesying to people. God told me to tell you this. You tapped into prophecy before it was time for you to prophecy. And that's what disabled you. What am I saying? He said, it's not my time. Even though he still performed the miracle, right? He still performed the understanding that keep this party going. But once again, it wasn't my time to enter into that individual because I had to make sure that they do everything wrong without my presence. So when my presence comes, they will surrender and submit to my will, which is my Father's will. Come on now. He was sent down here for a reason. And in that reason, you know, when people say a reason in the season, people come to your life, he's the season. But if you miss this season out of time, you get what I mean? Then you're not going to reap what you should have in the future until you catch this season. My job is to make sure we catch this season. This harvesting season. Light your fire, guys. I got an amazing word that I'm finna flip to you right now. I want to make sure I give you all my times, right? So there's here go another one. Here go another one. This one is really good. How about when somebody comes to you, Christ comes to you, bigger, better, greater comes to you. Thank you for lighting your fire. Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you, Nicole, for lighting your fire. What happens when Christ comes to you and he's in someone else and you say, oh, another time? See, your time was right there. But what happened? Come on, special. You flicked it off and said another time. You see, something supposed to happen in that time, but you said another time. What am I saying? That means you done wrote a note, a IOU, and said, oh, we're going to do this another time. That was the time to do it. See, we've been missing time, messing up time. Now, some of us ain't got time. We out of time, right? We done called. Now we need a time out so we can figure it all out because guess what? Some of us been stealing time. See, you got time to allocate. They've been telling you, you need to allocate time to be with God. You need to allocate time to pray. You need to allocate time to listen. You need to, but see, we're so busy. You ain't got time, so you got stolen time. You go listen to people who ain't took time out to make sure that they recognize who's coming on their broadcast. Guess what? Let's be clear. I know every person, every spirit. If you led to this broadcast, I know you led here by purpose. Not only by purpose, but you done experienced some pain. Come on, y'all. Light your fire. Because pain is part of that fire right there. Pain is part of that fire, and many of you don't want to experience that pain again. But if you aren't experiencing any type of pain, it's due. It's due because you have allowed your past to dictate your right now. And that's why some of us are depressed. We're depressed because we're stuck in the past trying to figure out what we could have done different and why this relationship didn't work and why this relationship didn't work and why this relationship didn't work and why this relationship didn't work. You ain't had time. You ain't had time. You missed time, out of time, overtime, right? Now, at the end of the day, now you meet somebody and guess what? You automatically want to get to it. What you want from me, right? Isn't that amazing? You should be telling me what you come to bring to me. Let's go. Don't ask me what you want from me. Ask me what you bringing to me. I will tell you I'm bringing a man that's done took time out to learn right from wrong. I'm telling you I'm bringing a person who's mature. I'm bringing a person who got boundaries. I'm bringing a person who filled with power. One that got fire, that can light his own fire. That little stuff you putting on, that don't light my fire. It better light your fire. But I appreciate the fact that you came in with a kickstart. I appreciate the fact that you came in with a little thump. You came in with a little bang. You came in contributing to where we going. Come on now, what does fire produce? Fire produces steam. Steam produce power. Come on now. Pressure bust pipes. Let's go. We're not going to miss this one, you guys. Y'all got that right? Some people don't miss their time. Some people time is up. You being discharged. That means you being discharged to recharge, but you no longer charge areas that you just ain't getting no results out of. Try plugging into something and ain't nothing happening. See, keep plugging in, ain't nothing happening. Come on, you guys. Let's be real. Let's be real. Let's have a real moment. This on you. God is not trying to look. Remember, I was speaking with somebody earlier today, and I had to tell them, listen, they tried to tell me something, right? And they say I'm difficult. They say I'm difficult, and sometimes I need to tone it down. I just listen, tone it down, right? I don't know how to tone it down. Right? All I know how to do is stand up much as I can because truth be told, let's be clear. It took a lot to be here. It took a lot to be here. I lead by example. I lead from the front, right? And in doing so, what came to mind is when I say immature, they say, y'all, you acting like you think you talking about I'm like a child. I said, no, you have childish ways. Many of us, we have operated with childish ways. Somebody tell you no, you got your lip poked out. Somebody tell you no, you sit here want to crucify everybody in their life. You ain't big enough to do this. You see, when people don't get what they desire or what they want, the first thing they doing is they coming for your character. But come on, you guys, when you know who you are and you know whom you are, you can't tear down my character because that was already expected. Let's go. You gonna try to tear down some character? Let's be clear. This is the invisible crown army. The invisible crown represents character and attitude. Your attitude is what shapes the environment. Your character, that is Christ. Let's be clear. That's who's inside of us. He is the invisible God. That's who we serve. We serve the invisible God, right? That will be Christ. Let's go deeper. Get into your scriptures. Let's make it happen real quick, you guys. We're on limited time. But let's go. Limited time, right? We're going to Matthew 13. Matthew 13. Matthew 13. We're on Matthew 13, you guys. Come on. Matthew 13. Get that with me. Get that with me so I won't leave without you. All right. Matthew 13 is verse. Matthew 13. Let's go. Matthew 13:1. I got to chop quick. Let's chop quick. Thanks for the fire, Chris. The same day, Jesus went out to a house and sat by the lake. Listen to this. Such a large crowd gathered around him that he got into a boat. Listen to me. That go the ship right there. He got into a boat. Many of you, thank God, light your fire like Chris just did. Thank God you could get in the ship, right? You get in Christ, he take you to a whole nother place. That's your escape route. The fact that you can go high yourself, that's an alternate route. Everybody can't do what you do. Let's not get stuck on lower levels. Watch this, you guys. This is amazing right here. I read this today. This really got me. It says, then verse 3, then he told them many things in parables. Remember I told you that parables is different stories, right? Now notice, some people had to get these parables. Parable is talking around. That means you had to listen to a story. Many people keep trying to tell other people's story when God is waiting for you to tell your story. Come on now, watch this. I don't have time to hear somebody. Remember, I think I said in the 5 o'clock wild fight last Saturday, somebody told me Will Smith said something. And I said, listen, you giving me Will Smith through this body. I don't want to hear Will Smith. I want to hear you. I don't want to hear your parent. I want to hear you. I don't want to hear what Samuel or these other people. I want to hear you. I want to hear what you have to say, right? Lest you tell me why I'm listening to what I'm listening to. You got to give me the why to the what. Come on, you guys. I'm giving you so many gems that you should be rich by the time you get off this broadcast. Watch this. Then he told many parables. A farmer went out to sow seeds. Now, this scripture is always going to be special to me because when they asked me to teach at a church, this was the scripture that I taught, and they told me I wasn't a teacher because I didn't do a good job. Thank them. I thank them for that. I like fire on that, right? Listen to this. Burn that up. As he was scattering the seeds, some fell along the path, right? Now notice, you would think this is a clumsy farmer because Jesus is telling you that how do you know Jesus? Some fell on the path. How do you know Jesus? Some scattered because he always been watching you. See, when you watch somebody and you can see they doing something wrong, didn't I tell you when it comes to leadership, the first thing to leadership, to be a leader, is you're going to have to be able to do it. You got to be able to do it. Whatever you doing is what you do. And whatever you do is what you doing. Come on now. This is why people don't like to be classified as something. People, you this, you that. You vary this, you vary that. See, that don't pay. Why use your eyes to try to dictate and determine who I am? What I'm doing is what I do. And what I do is what I'm doing. So Jesus said, some of them, they sowed their seeds, right? They scattered their seeds and it fell on the path, right? Knowing they ain't supposed to fell on no path, right? And the bird came and ate it up. That means they was clumsy, right? Look at this. The next one, verse 5 say, some fell in rocky places where it didn't have much soil. That go ignorance again. See, some of us, we keep trying to plant in areas that ain't got nothing to plan in. Like what I'm supposed to do in this little bitty place. It's almost like trying to take a family of 5 and move them into a studio apartment. Come on now, this ain't back in the day. In that apartment, I know some people with some studios that cost more than a 3-bedroom. Come on, man. It's all about location. It's all about location, right? Watch this, right? Jesus tells them it fell on rocky places where it where it did not have much soil, so it sprang up quickly. See, some of us, you get in an area with someone, feelings come quickly. Everything come quickly. This is what I'm saying to you, because you you are the seed. You are the one that has the energy. You are the one that gives out the power. You are the sun, the S-U-N to the S-O-N. That is you. You the one that makes things grow when you come around. Come on now. But you got to be good. You got to know where you at. You got to know the compass. You not got to know if you're going north, south, east, or west. The cross is a compass. North, south, east, or west. You the compass, but you got to know how to get in, and you got to know how you getting up out of this. Come on now. Let's be clear. Light your fire. It says you come around some people and they get ideas just when you around. You come around, all of a sudden a light bulb pops in their head. Ooh, I got an idea. Ooh, let me talk. I get around people that when I'm speaking, they want to speak while I'm speaking. And they don't even know that they speaking while I'm speaking, and my voice raised, and I'm looked at as the one that is yelling and hollering. Do you hear me, y'all? Y'all better get this. Christ is talking in me and to me, but while he's talking to me, I'm throwing it at you because you can get it if you can hear me. If you can hear me, light your fire. Watch this, you guys. If you can hear me, light your fire. Look at this. It sprung up quickly because the soil was shallow. Many people around you are shallow in finance. They shallow with emotions. They don't have a lot of experience, right? And for some of us, we got a lot of experience. That means we can go deep right now. We know what it means when God got his hand raised on you and God done took his hand up off you. Come on now. He takes his hands up off you. Some of us be like, man, yes, God, yes, God, yes, God. Lord, have mercy. Whoa, he done called a timeout. Come on now. And you also know when the devil is busy on you, be looking like, wait a minute now. If the devil can't be on me and on you now, let's be clear. If the devil is on me, let me run this way. But he can't be on you and me. He only can be on one of us. I'm going to run this way where you catch your breath. But don't you sit over there and act like you're going to sit over there and keep drinking knowing I'm going through. No, I'm going to run right back around that corner and bring her. There you go right there. They hiding. Go get them. Now, you done took it all from me. That turn now. What am I saying? No, I wouldn't do that to you. I wouldn't do that to you. I could deal with the devil. He don't want no problems with me. Right? Watch this. He don't want no problems with me. Look at this. Some fell on rocky places. Look at verse 6. But the sun came up and the plants were scorched and they withered because they had no roots. You see, your present make people wither up. Your present got so much radiant coming out of you. You be walking around here and people be running from you because you be wondering, why I ain't got no friends? Why you gotta beg people, you gotta feed people, you gotta sit here and cater to them, and you be wondering like, who signed up for this? You did. They signed you up. He did. And he got you signed up to this. But how well you perform is how well you gonna live. Let's go. The better you perform, the better you live. Let's go. You can't tell me I don't serve, because I serve. What he tell me to say, I say it. I'm serving me now. You get what I mean? And I'm serving me the best each and every day. If you're living in the past, then you are depressed. If you're living in the future, then you are anxious. You anxious for something that will never happen. What am I saying? You anxious. When he sending my wife? When he sending my husband? Anxious. He said, be anxious for nothing. Come on now. He already checked you already several times. You still out here listening to your girlfriends now. When I get my house, when I get my this, you better get your walk right first. That's what you should be prophesying on. You don't get that till you first get this. And what am I saying is, I had to learn this one the hard way. I had to, you know how they be like, Lil Joe, all right, I'm trying to roll a Lil Joe. The hard way. The hard way meaning that I had to learn to stop being all the way in years down the line, because that done messed a lot of us up, right? We need to learn to get the components that goes with your request. God, fill us up with the components. Give us all the things that we left out that goes with what it is we're requesting. Come on now, what am I saying? I'm saying that, listen, I'm going to need to make sure everything that you have experienced me with, equipped with, work together for the good, for the great of good. Come on now. Let's not sit here and disable, become block, delete, unprogram things that we need now. We need to install these things back. Some of us, we done lost we done lost what goes with us, right? We done lost it. What do I mean? Remember in scripture, remember I just said time, we done missed the time. It said the race wasn't given to the swift. Isn't that amazing? Somebody was in time, and guess what? They were swift, right? Oh, okay. The race wasn't given to the swift, right? The race wasn't given to the quick. It wasn't given to the strong. That means you could sit here and do something out of your time. And if the time it wasn't your time, it wasn't your time. And let's just be clear. When you sit here and say people left before their time, that means guess what? They left, but they had so much to give the world, they never got a chance to give it. Light your fire right now. Because some people say, I never got a chance to say I love them, and that time is up. See, you didn't say it in its time. And now you're saying, I don't have time now. And now they left before I got a chance to say, I appreciate you. I appreciate what you was trying to get me to see. I just wasn't ready yet. It wasn't my time. Jesus said it wasn't my time to perform what I performed. I can't say them people got saved because Jesus said it wasn't my time. Let's be clear. They took Jesus outside the kingdom. Now this is amazing. To throw him off the cliff, right? In scripture, I teach this one on wildfire, 5 o'clock wildfire. They took Jesus, Special and Chris, they took Jesus to throw him off the cliff, right? If Jesus came to be the Lord and Savior, he could have died right there. He could have just let them throw him off the cliff and boom, he become the Savior. It wasn't the time. It wasn't the time. And see, for many of us, I just help a lot of us right there. Because what we've been trying to do, it wasn't the time, but the time is now. Let's be clear now. Some of us been working in bottom levels too long, and now we in overtime. Now, we done went overtime, and our timing is off. We done messed around. Uh-oh, I done messed around and cut the wrong light off. Hold on. Let me put us back on before we shut down. Let me cut us back on before we shut down. Okay. We got that clock right. I got one more clock I'm trying to get right. Hold on, I want to make sure I got them. I tell you, sometimes you be looking for stuff and things just don't line up the way it should. Okay. Let's try this way. Okay. How y'all doing? Let me bring y'all up close and personal with me. I want to make sure this work right. Now I'm going to show you how, when you got to do it an old school way, right? I got to bring you up close and personal. That's when the phone starts trying to do what it want to do. There you go. Wait. Okay. This phone is not going to play with me today. Okay, you guys. I got to get this thing straight. Hold on 1 second. All right, I gotta be quick. I do not like when this happens. Okay, that look like it's working. All right, I'm gonna be quick, you guys. Let's move it. So right now we on scriptures, and I'm talking about the seeds that fell. We on Matthew 13, verse 8. It says, still, other seeds fell on good soil, right? Oh, wait, verse 7. It says, other seeds fell among thorns, which grew up and choked the plants. At least it got a chance to grow, right? And it choked the other plants. Now watch this. Verse 8 says, other seeds fell on good soil, and they was able to produce a crop 160, 30 times what was sown. 30 times what was sown. What am I saying? Many of you, you got so much in you. You got the 30 times already in you. You are the crop. Let's be clear. You come, but people gonna tell you you doing too much. Oh my God, the feed done went out. Lord have mercy.